I will be explaining my thesis project on the topic Urban Fabric and the Educational Institutions. My thesis guide is Shirish Joshi. The thesis began with the understanding that urban educational institutions have minimal interaction with the urban fabric. The entire thesis revolves around the case of how urban fabrics and the campus buildings interact within the city fabric. The relationships of the building to the street, building to the landscape, and most importantly, the campus edge with the city fabric are the major concerns of the thesis. This project aims at developing master planning strategies of the campus and mainly at the edge, and ultimately coming up with a building design that illustrates these strategies at the building level. The presentation is divided into four parts: the case studies or the synopsis, the site studies with the MMRDA proposed master plan study, the third being the master plan proposal and the building proposal, that is the startup hub, and the fourth being the ARD, that is the detailing part of the startup hub. To help understand the quality of life and elements within the campus, Christopher Alexander's method of identifying patterns is followed. Patterns are specific spatial elements that include transitional, qualitative elements within a space that bring life to the space. By studying existing campuses and identifying patterns present within them, these patterns can be a crucial step in designing the Mumbai University campus. Here are the patterns that were derived from the case studies of various campuses around the world: Open University, Pedestrian Realm, Activity Nodes, Connected Greens, Street Network, Building Edge, Public Realm, Student Community, Mixed Use Fabric, Fabric of Departments, Central Open Space, and Public Transportation System. The location plan. The Mumbai University Kalina campus is in close vicinity of the Mumbai Airport and the Western Express Highway. The campus has two major boundaries, that is the Hansburga Marg on the north and the Bharat Nagar Road on the south. The Hansburga Marg on the north has two entries to the campus, whereas the Bharat Nagar Road has one more privatized entry to the campus. The campus also has the Vakula Nara at the border of its western edge, which has a major marshy land area within the campus. Studying the road network, it was noted that there are many bus stops that are along the periphery of the campus, with few bus stops within the campus. The bus stops within campus are located because there are two buses that run through the campus. These buses are connecting the Santa Cruz station with the Kurla station. The land use map was done to understand what are the typologies of buildings around the campus. It was noted there is a majority number of residential spaces around the campus. There are a few commercial spaces and hospitals on the southern edge of the campus. The vegetation map was studied to understand the different morphologies and vegetation species that are within the campus. The existing edge conditions were also studied to understand what is the boundary wall between the campus and the urban edge. The boundary wall is basically the boundary wall that is noted is basically a huge concrete wall that divides the campus from the urban fabric. The MMRDA proposal for the university. The MMRDA proposal was proposed in 2019 and to be completed by 2022. It was noted that the marshy land is proposed to be filled up and built over with new campus buildings. The edge also is imagined as a hard boundary, isolating the campus from the city. The MMRDA edge was also studied, and as mentioned before, this part of the edge also has many retail buildings on the Hansburga edge, but along with that, it also has the boundary wall which divides the campus from the urban fringe. The design. The design is divided into two parts: the new master planning proposal and the startup hub proposal. The new master planning proposal. The main aim of my master plan proposal is to push back the buildings to the edge, which activates the edge, and at the same time, the natural features highlighted in the existing vegetation map is retained. This proposal mainly suggests that all the buildings that were proposed in the MMRDA proposal as a part of the marshy land is pushed back along the Hansburger edge. Here's the detailed proposed master plan of the edge, which shows all the buildings that are along the edge. These are mainly the Research Center, the University Hotel, the Institute for International Studies, and such many other institutes that are along the edge. The proposal was also supported by three major strategies: the green network, the hierarchy of spaces, and the connectivity map. The hierarchy of spaces shows the major public spaces within the ground floor of the master plan, which shows that these public spaces are majorly commercial or retail spaces that are dedicated for the public. The connectivity plan shows that there are only two transit hubs, that is, two transit hubs that are meant for the privatized vehicles. This ensures that there are the idea of pedestrian pathways and more sustainable ways of traveling through the campus is promoted. This map also shows the major pedestrian paths that enter the campus from the urban edge. The master plan environmental strategies. There are many environmental strategies that are highlighted through the plan on this slide. That are pocket parks and green spaces, cycle tracks for commute within the campus, marshland converted into an eco park as a device of study of biodiversity within the campus, water treatment plant for the treatment of storm water drainage and rainwater harvesting from the campus. The green network, that is, the roads and the pedestrian paths, are aligned with trees and street lighting for safe commute. In parts, these streets are also aligned with biospheres. Here's a plan that shows that the major water service lines along the edge of the campus. A part of it was also detailed out to show how the lines actually enter the campus area and connect with the buildings and ultimately to the wetland edge. The water treatment plan for the treatment of grey water from the campus. Wastewater from the septic tanks or the sewer systems and the grey water of the campus is treated at smaller treatment plants at the edge of the wetland area. The water here is treated with the help of wetland plants to filter and release it into the wetland. A part of it is also recycled and used to water plants and green spaces within the campus. This process is the phytoremediation process, and the plants that are specifically used for the phytoremediation process are also present on the campus. Here's a diagram of the structured bioswale, which highlights how the surface runoff from the rainwater can be directed into the swale before getting discharged, so that the excess can be utilized in recharging the groundwater table. This water is also directed to the wetland area where it is treated with the wetland for the phytoremediation process and then released into the eco park. The startup hub proposal. The startup hub is the campus building which has the most urban level interactions because of the involvement of professionals from the field and the students and young entrepreneurs. The startup hub is roughly 4,900 square meters of built-up. The users are entrepreneurs and young aspiring students, faculty and professionals. The spaces that are dedicated for this use are administration, faculty spaces, conference or meeting rooms, workshop spaces, and office workspaces. The startup hub also has a major public interface, which is the cafeteria. Here in the ground floor plan, you can see that the research center has an exhibition space on the ground floor, which is its public space for the which is its public space, which interacts with the cafeteria space on the startup hub's ground floor, creating a public realm on this part of the campus. This campus part can also be accessed via the small bridges along the creek. The section shows how the low-height precast fronts at the boundary wall are installed for connectivity, for a visual connection, and as well as safekeeping of as well as marking out the boundary of the campus. The ground floor of the startup hub has a shows that has a semi-public nature, where the cafeteria spills outside the building itself to create semi-open spaces. The central atrium has a glass roof covering the space, which ensures there is natural ventilation and maximum amount during the maximum amount of time during the day, and only when required the air conditioning system can be controlled. The plans, sections, and elevations of the startup hub. The ground floor plan shows the three major parts of the startup hub. The first is the cafeteria space on the upper side of this plan. In the middle is the startup hub's central staircase with the green pocket in the front. And the third is on the lower space, the workshop area with its auxiliary activities such as the metal cutting workshop, the loading unloading spaces, and equipment and material storage room. On the first floor of the startup hub, above the cafeteria area are these seminar hall and conference spaces. On the floor above the workshop space are smaller open workshop spaces with a few testing labs. On the second floor of the campus is the main administration area with faculty spaces and the major conference room. This floor also has the open office on the upper part of the plan. On the third floor, the open office spaces is followed on this plan as well from the second floor, and it also has a few individual team working spaces, which is designed for 8 to 10 people working on the same project. The terrace plan shows the major rainwater harvesting pipes that go down through the ground. The north-facing elevation shows two major facade ideas, that is the use of fins and the use of fins and planter facade that is adopted from the Renzo Piano section for the museum, which will be explained in the coming slides. Here's another elevation showing the fence and curtain wall system, which has horizontal louvers within along the curtain wall, ensuring that there is maximum shading in the interior spaces of the startup hub. A section which shows the green pocket at the ground floor with the discussion spaces along the staircase area on the upper floors. Another section which shows the open office spaces on the higher floors with the central staircase with the green pocket in the central atrium part. The ARDN technology. The ARDN technology begins with outlining major mechanical strategies and facade strategies that are used in the startup hub. The mechanical strategies consist of the air conditioning system, which is the VRF system within the building. The second is the use of louvers along the wall, which lifts up the atrium roof. This ensures that all the hot air of the building is removed from these louver openings. The third mechanical strategy is the glass skylight that has mechanically operated louvers that ensure dissipated sunlight enters the building through the skylight, and angles of the system of the louvers is controlled by the BMS system of the building. The facade strategies are majorly the use of fins and plant of window detail. This detail is designed after referencing Renzo Piano's section for the Muse Museum, Trento, Italy. The planters used vary from palms to creepers that survive sunlight and can provide shading to the interiors of the spaces. Another facade strategy that is used on the southern side of the building have horizontal louvers to ensure that there is maximum dissipated sunlight with minimum heat entering the office or the workshop spaces placed at this end of the building. The green strategy is majorly the use of indigenous vegetation that surround the building and is also spread within the campus, providing natural shading to the pedestrian and the public spaces of the campus. The part elevations with wall section. This part elevation and wall section shows the use of curtain walls with the use of horizontal louvers to make sure that there is dissipated sunlight entering the spaces. It also shows a part of the cafeteria area on the ground floor. Another wall section showing the unloading space. Another wall section that shows the entrance area of the startup hub with the planters on the higher floor. And on the other side, you can see the curtain wall system with horizontal louvers and fins in the elevation. Here's a detail of the curtain wall with fins. The fins are majorly aluminum fins that are fixed through the curtain wall. This is a powder coated aluminum fins. It is also combined with the use of horizontal louvers that which in combination provides shading within the areas of the startup hub. This slide also shows the glass roof truss section, which has automated louvers for ventilation in the atrium on the wall that gives the atrium roof a height, and the use of automated louvers for sun shading on the roof. On this slide, you can see the planter wall with fins detail, which shows the use of ferrocement planters with drainage pipe that makes sure that the planters have proper irrigation and drainage. This is combined with vertical aluminum powder coated fins. The planters are fixed to the slab by the use of the customized steel sections with pipe sections to the slab. The water systems in the startup hub. The water system in this diagram basically shows how the rainwater harvesting system uses all the water from the roof area to be used for the landscaping purposes, that is around the campus, and also on the planters that are at the face of the building. It also shows that how the gray water is sent to the wetland treatment plant for further treatment with the use of phytoremediation. Here are views of the campus and the startup hub. So this campus view basically shows an aerial view of the buildings that are aligned with the Hansburger Mark. The SCLR flyover is also highlighted in this view, which is along the Hansburger Mark. Here's a view from the research center towards the startup hub with the SCLR flyover in the background. And another view which shows the public space of the startup hub, that is the cafeteria. Thank you.